If you wanted a demonstration of the value of brands or the importance of brands, the sale of the FT to the Nikkei group is probably the best example for a long time. It's $500 million of revenues, and it's been sold for, what is it, $1.3 billion. It's 30 times operating profit. So $510 million of revenue, I think, is the revenues of the whole division, okay, which includes not just the FT newspaper, but includes the conference division. It excludes the 50% of The Economist, and it excludes their freehold building. Interestingly, they keep their freehold building. So essentially, and the profitability, I think the sale price of 1.4 billion is 30 times the operating income. So it's a very high, and usually those sort of companies would trade at 10 or 11 or 12 times. So Nikkei have played a very heavy premium for the assets, and obviously it's because of the strength of the Pinken, no FT, no comment, and the line that one of our agencies developed, I think was the best line that the FT has ever had. Maybe they'll bring it back. But it just shows you the power of the brand. Now, in order to grow that brand, Nikkei are going to have to invest in it. There's no way, they can't cut their way to success having paid that for the brand, and they're going to have to invest in it, because to build that brand digitally, to build it even in its legacy form, that is not a question of, you can't cut costs. You've got to invest in the editorial. And I think the interesting thing is that Pearson finally realized that the value they had there, that they weren't in a position as an education company to invest in that news brand in the same way as somebody else could. So obviously Nikkei have decided that I don't think they were the obvious buyer of that brand. I think there were other companies that were more obvious, that I think were more attuned maybe to the FT brand, but it's not the way it's turned out. So I think Nikkei are going to have challenges, and the big challenge for them is whether they have the vision to invest further. From an advertising point of view, we invest on behalf of our clients about $60–65 million a year in the FT. Now, I don't know what the FT advertising revenue is, but I guess we're a very significant proportion of their total advertising revenues, which will be part of that $500 million of revenue. And the interesting thing to me is when I talk to our people and ask them, why is it that, if you said to me, what do I think just intuitively would be the spend by our clients, I would think it'd be far more than 60 million. I would think it would be at least double that. And they say to me that the reason why it hasn't been greater with the FT is the FT is not as flexible they treat the brand, they tended to treat the brand as a premium brand, a sort of a brand up here, and haven't been flexible enough in terms of advertising and sponsorship opportunities. So the opportunity, I think, for Nikkei could well be to take, let me put it like this, a more flexible approach to engaging with our clients and not treating it as a niche premium brand or quite such a sort of elevated brand, if I can put it that way, and maybe making it a little bit more flexible in its approach. So there may be some things that they could go on. I mean, I've always looked at the FT and thought in somebody else's hands it could be much more powerful, and we'll see whether Nikkei turns out to be the best home for it in the long term.